JBNN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Before we get into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Police probing suspected murder in St. Ann gated community. The Ocho police are searching for clues into a case of suspected murder committed on Monday in Pyramid Heights, St. Ann. This was after an elderly man was found dead at his home in the gated community. He has been identified as 72-year-old Alan Rattigan. Police reports say at about 9 p.m., a caretaker for the property arrived at Mr. Rattigan's house. Upon entering the house, he stumbled upon the body of Mr. Rattigan, which was tied with pieces of clothing and an electrical cord. The caretaker alerted the police. They are searching for a person of interest who was last seen visiting Mr. Rattigan in the community. The police have identified the suspect as Omar. Two cops in East Kingston triple killing retained Champagne get new court date. The case of two policemen charged with murder among other offences in the fatal shooting of 3 men in East Kingston last week was postponed to December 17, 2024 when it came up for mention in the gun court on Tuesday morning. The hearing was postponed because the court was told that the defence had not received full disclosure of documents from the prosecution regarding their clients. Corporal Mark Roy and Constable Kelby White were each charged earlier this week with 3 counts of murder, using a firearm in the commission of a felony, discharging a firearm within 40 yards of a public thoroughfare, placing an item on the scene of a crime, and willfully lying to the Commissioner of Police. They are being represented by attorneys King's Counsel Peter Champagne and Althea Grant. The cops reported that at about 2:30 a.m. on Sunday, November 10, while on patrol, they had encountered a group of men along Windward Road, and during the encounter, gunfire was exchanged, resulting in the death of 3 men. One of the cops sustained a non-life-threatening injury, and the 2 illegal guns were reportedly recovered from the scene. It was initially reported that the now deceased men were suspected to be involved in a robbery ring. However, following a probe into the incident by the Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM, the cops were charged. Man wrongfully charged for murder and locked up for 8 years files lawsuit. An innocent man who spent 8 years in custody awaiting trial in a murder case until he was freed in June has filed a lawsuit against the government seeking millions in damages for the agony, trauma, humiliation, and financial losses he suffered during the ordeal. He is 31-year-old environmental warden Nicholas Gordon for Kingston 12 address, was employed with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. The defendants are Police Corporal Ozil Stewart and the Attorney General. Gordon was charged on the basis that the deceased, Michael Britton, also called Stay Alive, and Blinn Biggs of Jonestown in Kingston, had given a dying declaration to his aunt who had been taken to hospital in February 2016 that it was Gordon who shot him. During intensive cross-examination by senior attorney at law Anthony Williams, the main witness of the prosecution disclosed that in the first statement that she, on the day her nephew was shot and killed, did not tell the police that he gave a dying declaration. She also said in court that she did not tell the police about a dying declaration. However, Williams explained that a copy of the first statement was only given to the defense after the Crown closed its case, and he had already cross-examined the witness. Gordon was sued in the Home Circuit Court after Justice Dayton Pusey upheld a no-case submission by Williams and attorney Sade Bailey that the statements were contradictory. Williams said he was still querying where the first statement was all this time, despite the many appearances Gordon made in court over 8 years. He said the truth was revealed only when he asked the witness under cross-examination, "How many statements did you give to the police?" Gordon is seeking special damages of $4.8 million, which include loss of earnings and legal expenses. The claimant is also seeking damages which include false imprisonment, malicious prosecution, and exemplary damages. Williams, who represented Gordon at his trial, filed a lawsuit on Gordon's behalf on November 14 in the Supreme Court. Gordon is contending that Corporal Stewart failed to conduct proper investigations and unlawfully and without reasonable cause arrested him. In his particulars of claim, Gordon outlined the horrible and deplorable conditions under which he had to survive while in custody at various police station lockups. Taxi operator charged with teacher's murder is dead. Lascelles Morgan, the taxi operator charged with the murder of educator Daniel Anglin, died 12 days after he attempted to take his life at the Portmore police station. On July 10, the 45-year-old convicted sex offender was charged with murder and kidnapping in relation to the death of Anglin, who was a teacher at St. Peter Claver Primary and Infant School in St. Andrew. Acting Superintendent Michael Campbell, commanding officer for the St. Catherine South Division, said that Morgan was found in his cell on November 7, shortly after he had returned from the Clarendon Parish Court.
So he was taken to the Clarendon Parish Court. And after he returned from court, he was placed in the cell, rather. And about 20 minutes later, the police officers were alerted by other members of the cell, hanging, using item of clothing. The police officers rendered first aid, and he was taken to the Spanish hospital where he was admitted. So he was admitted in hospital from the 7th until yesterday when we were informed that he succumbed.
Forensic tests confirmed that skeletal remains found on June 3 in Salt River, Clarendon, were those of Anglin, who disappeared after leaving her Hillshire Park home in St. Catherine on May 13. Morgan had been arrested and charged in 2015 for sexual offences and was also convicted in Antigua for sexual offences and deported to Jamaica. Police constable charged with murder granted $400,000 bail. A police constable has been charged with murder following a probe by the Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM into a fatal shooting in Montego Bay, St. James in May 2022. Constable Weevil Phillips was placed before the St. James Parish Court on Monday, where he was also charged with making use of a firearm to commit a felony. Phillips was taken into custody and was returned to Jamaica 7 months after a ruling by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. He is charged in relation to the May 13, 2022 off-duty fatal shooting of 33-year-old Cadmar Beadle at a bar on Jarrett Street in Montego Bay. It was granted bail in the sum of $400,000. His next court date is December 4. JSF says tuberculosis cases at Hunts Bay lockup. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF says it has been managing a confirmed outbreak of tuberculosis, TB, among inmates at the Hunts Bay lockup since August of this year. The JSF made the revelation in a statement on Monday, noting that 7 inmates are currently receiving treatment at the Hunts Bay lockup, while an additional 5 are undergoing treatment at hospital under 24-hour police guard. The force said it has been working alongside public health partners to manage the situation. It reassured the public that all necessary measures are being implemented to contain the situation and ensure the safety of all involved. Upon detection of the initial cases, the JSF said all established public health protocols were swiftly enacted. Infected inmates were immediately placed in isolation and medical professionals were engaged to lead the response. It added that all JSF personnel who came in contact with the affected individuals were also isolated and provided with the required personal protective equipment. According to the JSF, the St. Andrews South Divisional Management Team has been collaborating closely with the public health officer and staff from the Southeast Regional Health Authority Sierra, the National Chest Hospital, and the relevant authorities at the St. Andrew Parish Court to manage and mitigate the spread of TB. As part of its precautionary measures, infected inmates are kept entirely separate from the general detainee population to prevent further spread of the illness. It said there have been no transfers into or out of the Hunts Bay facility since the initial detection of TB cases. We have also been engaging with the St. Andrew Parish Court to facilitate court appearances for affected inmates through secure online platforms such as Zoom to further limit the risk of exposure, the force said. The JSF urged the public to remain calm as it implements all necessary measures to protect both the detainee population and the wider community. JBNN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.